Good day, everyone. You're welcome to the Silverstone YouTube channel. My name is Adejare Ajibola Joshua. Today we'll be discussing the basic external services and their importance. What are basic external services? Things like water, like electricity, like waste disposal. But today we'll be hammering on water, its essence, and why it is important in making a place habitable, in making a place good to live. And today I won't be doing that alone. I'll be doing that with someone that has a vast knowledge about management, facility management. And I'll be doing that with no other person than Mr. Gabriel Oyo. Mr. Gabriel Oyo, nice to have you in the program.
Thank you for having me.
Yes. So when we talk about basic external services, so can you help us elaborate on that?
When you're speaking about external services consist of water, power, and waste. You also agree with me that when it has to do with waste, apart from human waste, we human beings also generate waste. Based on our emphasis today, water is very, very essential and crucial to the well-being of human.
Thank you so much. So now, today we'll be talking about water today, and we'll be taking the Fairfield Department as a case study because we all know that the Fairfield Apartment is proudly managed by the Silverstone managers. Now, taking Fairfield Apartment as a case study, concerning water, what are those things that we can find that can impact good access to water?
Okay, at the moment, we, as a manager, we know that water is very essential and a whole lot is going on in terms of movement concerning water. At the moment, we brought in centrifugal pumps, we brought in storage tanks, polyethylene storage tanks at that, which is one of the best storage methods. And then we're also going to be having a central water treatment plant, which can do over 40,000 gallons. If you need to do your math, you know that 40,000 gallons of water is a whole lot. We're driving towards livability, and there are some certain things, some temporary measures that we're taking to ensure that people that will live will not just enjoy water, but they will enjoy potable water. We're already setting up a makeshift water treatment plant that will cater for the first cluster, which is Cut A. And at the moment, we brought in centrifugal pumps, and we brought in storage tanks of close to 40,000 capacity. And if you look at it, our centrifugal pump can do, our treatment plant can do as much as 240,000 liters per day.
Wow.
The capacity for that entire cluster is about 98,000 liters. But we're going to be giving out water that is well treated and well treated and devoid of all chemical elements or microorganisms. And that's what we're doing at the moment. At the moment, we're also doing recirculations. We're trying to link all the pipes. We've been able to mount all the tanks, all the needed tanks at the tank station, we're doing, the connection is also ongoing, and in due time we'll have enough water to even spare within the estate.
In a particular setting, a livable setting, we have water that is that we can consume for maybe drinking, cooking, and also water that we use to bathe. And we have to also, that is where I'm going to now. What is the standard for the World Health Organization for the amount of coliform in water? Because if we are treating water at the Fairfield Apartment, there must be some things that are put in place. You talked about the centrifugal pump and things like that. So what are those things? What are you doing to ensure that people don't have skin irritation due to the water treatment?
First of all, it starts with the depth at which we're even going to get this water from. I remember that a whole lot is happening even on the soil. You just mentioned coliform. Coliform is just one of the impurities that can change the entire narrative when you're talking about water. There are other impurities. You have other chemicals. You have iron. You have a whole lot of impurities. So apart from coliform that you have mentioned, there are other things to also look out for. And when we're talking about water that is potable. Yes, you have mentioned some other uses of water apart from drinking. You can have water for wetting of your flowers, you can have water for washing of cars. But we're very particular of what comes into us. And we equally have E. coli and you have to also look at the quality of the water, the color of the water. That's talking about turbidity. Look at the temperature at which you're even getting this water, treating this water, and even distributing this water to the tanks. So for us, it starts with the depths at which we've gone. And if you open our taps within the site, you discover that they are pure white, and that's talking about turbidity. You're not having water that is cloudy, so we have water that is that has clearance. It's white,
it's transparent.
Transparent. You can even see through it. Now, apart from that, it's because we've gone very deep, a whole lot of meters down the ground to get this water. Now, you also consider storage. Even when you get this water and treat them, if they are not properly stored, you still have those impurity going to that water. What about the lines? The lines that you're going to even use to dissipate this water from your treatment plant to the tanks. So all these things have been taken into consideration. We also have built up maintenance culture to ensure that time to time we go back to our storage, we look at the storage, clean them up, even disinfect them. Then we also go back to the drilling point where we're even drilling the water, look at the drilling wells, the water wells, to ensure that there's no contamination. Contamination can even come from the surface. We also come beneath. You also need to also understand that even below the earth, you have aquifers layers at which you can get this water from. And also remember that soils could also contaminate the water. So for us, Silverstone managers, and with a whole lot of vast experience in management and maintenance, we're going to be ensuring that we take care of where we even get the water from the source, all the way from the source to the storage. And if you get that right, then be sure that you won't have skin irritation, you won't even have typhoid, an outbreak of typhoid or cholera. We've taken measures, we've put down measures to ensure that all the way from the generating, that's from the water well itself to the storage and where this water is going to be stored, we're going to be making sure that the water lines will be cleaned regularly. We're also going to make sure that the tanks are cleaned regularly. We're also make sure that every other maintenance that we should do at the treatment plant is being done, like change of filters. When the filters are due, we have to change those filters, wash up the tanks, clear up all the lines that we have. Those are the things, those are the measures that we've put in place to ensure that whatever water that we're pumping into this apartment are well treated.
We have type of water sources, as we have the rainwater, the well water, and we have the pipe-borne water, that's the borehole. So which are you making use of the first feed apartment, or you're virtually making use of all, or do you even have spring or stream at the first feed apartment, using it as a case study?
Okay, I mentioned centrifugal pump. I'm going to be using a borehole, with a very good depth. Now from the borehole, it gets to our treatment plant, where we're going to be doing all the chlorination, we defog, we do turbidity tests, do temperature tests, do all the necessary tests, do even coliform tests. Just mentioned coliform, which is a bacteria, even E. coli tests, to ensure that we can have permissible level. WHO will say 0 coliform to 100 millimeter of water, or say 0 coliform to 100 liters of water. So we'll also ensure that our water is devoid of coliform or E. coli. These are bacteria that can cause irritation even on your body. They could also cause disturbances even when you take them into your system. So we're going to be ensuring that we keep to World Health Organization standard, that the best principle that you can ever get anywhere.
I would need to go back. You were talking about on storage at the other time. So I would want to ask, because when we talk about storage, we're talking about the GP tanks. So, and we have different kind of apartment. Looking at the Fairfield apartment as a case study, we have different type of apartments. So we have the 3-bedroom flats, we have the 2-bedroom, we have the 1-bedroom, and their usage of water varies. So how many GP tanks per apartment? And is it just, maybe for instance, just for example, is it an apartment to a GP tank, or there is a central system where they still have storage, or to an apartment they have their GP tanks?
Okay, I know you wouldn't want a situation whereby you're coming back home and you're discovering that you don't even have water running in your tap. And that's what we've taken into consideration. Now, for our water distribution, we're going to be ensuring that everyone has his own tank. We'll have a metering system that's going to meter everyone based on consumption. So at the moment, what we have a stanchion that caters for entire tank for a particular block. For instance, if you're looking at block 05, block 05 has 18 units of apartment. We have facility office below. We equally have a laundromat also below. And so such a block is going to be having 20 tanks at the stanchion, where you have each apartment having a 1,000 liters capacity tank. You agree with me that if you're going to run 1,000 liters a day, that means you're probably going to be a shark to run 1,000 liters a day.
That means they're a fish.
And the idea is to ensure that people don't run out of water. And you pay for what you use. So if you have a larger family, be sure that you're going to pay more than most of us that have a mini family. So we're going to be having each apartment, like you just mentioned, a one bedroom is going to have its own tank, a two bedroom has its own tank. Every apartment is going to have their own tank, while we have a central treatment plant and a reservoir where we can pump. We have a centrifugal pump that can pump to all the tanks.
So, Mr. Gabriel, I love this interaction. I so much love it. And this is going to be the final question for those that who want to ask this question. And I know they will be happy because I'm asking this last question. I've noticed that in Nigeria, most real estate, or let's say most estates, at first, at their arrival, they tend to, most management they employ, they tend to manage so well at first. But over the years, or maybe over the month, the management or maintenance level depreciates. So what are the things that have been put in place to make sure that water maintenance in Fairfield apartments never goes down? Now, I'm not talking about the materials involved, but what are those guidelines? What are those steps that Silverstone managers has put in place to ensure that continuity of proper maintenance goes forward?
We have a system already on ground that can run on its own. And you'll discover that most of the things that we're using are things that can stand the test of time. And people will ask questions like, why are you doing this? We're doing this because, one, we're trying to ensure that whatever that we put down can stand the test of time before you call for maintenance. We don't want to do maintenance regularly, but we have intervals at when we should do maintenance. I just take a little clue from centrifugal pump, which I just mentioned. Now we have a time frame at which that pump should be maintained. Now, having spoken about the pump, what happens to the treatment plant itself? The treatment plant has a whole lot of components. It has fibers. It has filters. Those filters have their time frame at which they should work before you replace them. And all these things have been put into consideration. And that's why I started by telling you that it's a system. Any estate that doesn't have a system will actually or will eventually crash. So for us to have a system already in place that can even run on its own. And every component that we're going to be using in the water treatment plant has its own time, has its own working time, has a time frame. So when it gets to that particular time, we do a roll-up maintenance. For instance, the filters which I've mentioned will be changed. The centrifugal pump, time to time, it has interval at which it work, and interval at which you can switch them off. And the people that are setting up the water treatment plant, and they're going to be giving us a wet list of people that are going to run that system, say for 90 days or for 120 days. And at the process of running that system, you have people that will learn on that system and keep that system functioning. We also take inventory of all our tools and equipment. Now, we can also do preventive maintenance on the pumps. Remember that I mentioned centrifugal pumps. We're going to be doing preventive and routine maintenance on the centrifugal pumps. Now, we're also going to be inspecting and we're going to clean and repair control panels in the pump house and also the treatment plant. We're also going to be doing flushing of all our distribution system. For instance, our distribution system, our distribution system entails the storage tanks. It also entails the lines, the pipes from your source to the tanks. Remember that we're going to be dissipating close to 240,000 liters of water a day. And as such, it will be very, very mandatory to ensure that the water that was dissipating is potable and good.
I want you all to sit back and relax. Click the subscribe button on the YouTube channel to learn more tips and the good works of the Silverstone managers. They have been doing well, and we've taken the Fairfield department as a case study. It is not only the Fairfield department, they have a lot of other projects they are managing. They are doing well all over Nigeria and in Africa. And once again, thank you, Mr. Gabriel Ayo, for coming.
Thank you for having me around.
Thank you so much. We've talked about water today, and I want you to just guess what the next thing will be. And if you have any question towards this, we want you to go into the comment section to comment on it, and we're very sure to answer you in no time. And if you feel there's a topic you want to learn about, you want to know, we are right here for you. We're going to ask on your behalf, and I want you to stay tuned to the next episode by clicking the subscribe button on YouTube today. Thank you so much all at home for your time, and thank you, Mr. Gabriel.
Thank you for having me.
Till next week, till we meet again. God bless you. Have a nice day.